Today on Peace to and Pastis, we're going to teach you how to make a flourless chocolate cake.
It's simple, it's gluten-free, and it's just light and moist and delicious.
Okay, so now the special part about our chocolate cake today is that I'm going to be making it with buckwheat instead of regular flour.
But I thought it was a gluten-free cake.
Yeah, that's the cool thing. Buckwheat is gluten-free. I like to use Bob Red Mill brand because this brand is available nationwide. You can pretty much find it anywhere, or if not, you could buy it from them online. For us, this is our local mill. Okay, so now I'm going to prepare our spring form. I'm using a 9-inch spring form. I like to use a non-stick one. And so the first step, we're going to take a little butter. And we're just going to butter around the sides. You're probably going to use about a tablespoon of butter. Let's just go all the way around the sides. All right. And then we're going to put a piece of parchment down on the bottom circle here. So just pull it out of your roll. Put it on top like that. You don't have to worry too much about anything. Press down your top of your spring form and then just close it back up. So now you're going to have this like little bit of parchment overhanging, and then we're going to take our scissors and just cut the excess off. This is the quickest way to do this. All right, that stuff is garbage. Let's just put a little butter on the parchment paper, and then normally when you're making a cake, you would take flour and sprinkle it over the butter, and that's going to help form a crust on the cake and also help it release from the pan easier. Since this is a gluten-free cake, I'm going to use a little bit of almond flour, so I'll probably use about a tablespoon of almond flour, and we're just going to tap that in there, and then we're just going to twist it around just to make sure all the sides get coated really nicely. And once you've gone all the way around the sides, we're just going to tap out the extra, and that's it. Now you're all set. Now all we're going to do is melt our chocolate. We're going to put 4 ounces of chocolate in this bowl, and then 4 ounces of butter into the bowl. And the butter I just cubed up just so it's going to melt a little quicker. And then we're going to put that on top of a steaming pot of water just so it's melted. That's all we're looking for. 4 egg whites. Now I'm going to add about a half a teaspoon of cream of tartar. And so we're going to turn our mixer up on high. And just beat it, probably for about a minute till it's frothy. You know, they're still not whipped all the way, but they're starting to hold their shape. They're looking a little bit like snow. So now we're going to add our sugar, and then keep beating it for another 30 seconds.
So the question I always have at this point in a recipe is, how do I know when the whites are done, when they're frothy enough? How do I know?
It's easy. You want to look at it. So let's just get some of this up here. And the bubbles are really tight. It's very white. Look how it's kind of stiff and holding its shape. Mm-hmm. This is perfect. Okay, so now we've melted our chocolate and our butter, and you just want to whisk it together so it's emulsified. So now let's add 4 egg yolks. Yeah, just drop them right in there. Okay, now I'm going to add a pinch of salt. You always use a little bit of salt in baking. I know it sounds a little bit weird. Okay, now add the almond meal. So this is just finely ground almonds, also from Bob's Red Mill. Now add the buckwheat. Just pour it in. Okay, and you just want to whisk it to get out any lumps. Add the vanilla. So that's about a teaspoon of vanilla extract. Okay, and now I'm going to add the egg whites. So I'm going to add a 1/3 egg whites into there.
And this is what's called folding?
Yeah, it's kind of folding. I mean, technically folding would be done with a rubber spatula. But the first 1/3 just kind of loosens the mass, gives it volume, because if you added all the egg whites at once, it would lose a lot of air in the egg whites, and what we're looking for here is fluffy. So now this is more folding, where we're just working it together. This looks like it's going to taste great. And now we're just going to add our chocolate cake mixture into our prepared pan. Here, take a taste of that. And we're just going to spread it a little bit. It'll kind of spread on its own as it's cooking. Anyway, so we just spread it in there, wipe all of that good stuff off. You get this. Just going to bang it real quick to kind of level it out, and let's pop it in the oven.
All right, so the cake's out of the oven and it just smells amazing.
Oh, man, it smells like heaven.
I can't wait to try it. All right, so my question is always going to be the same. How do you know when it's done?
Well, you know, the easiest way is you either stick a toothpick inside the cake, or you could use a paring knife, anything small. But you just want to stick it in and pull it out, and when it comes out, you see there's just absolutely nothing on there. So it's finished. All set. So now we're just going to let it rest on a rack for 10, 15, 20 minutes, let it cool off a little bit, and then we'll eat it. I like to eat it a little bit warm. Thank you very much for watching our video and learning how to make our flourless chocolate cake. Please subscribe to Pistou and Pastis to keep up with all our videos coming up.
Now it's a moment of truth. Let's see how it tastes.
Enjoy. God, is that moist.
Light, chocolatey, moist.